Hakeem in Alabama. You're live with Eric and Jamie, and we're tired of bantering back and forth and people being like, oh my gosh, just get to Hakeem in Alabama. We want to talk to you, Hakeem. How's it going? You're live.
Okay.
How you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
We're doing good. What do you want to talk about today?
I had a few things I wanted to discuss with you all.
Sure.
First, I wanted to ask you all, from you all's perspective, an atheist perspective, you all are atheists, correct?
Yes, I am.
We are. You know how limited the atheist perspective is, though, right?
Like, there are atheists on the other side of this glass in the live studio audience that may very well disagree with our answer to your question. But
yeah, if it has to do with whether or not a God exists, we're good.
Right, meaning he, she, or the dog or the cat doesn't, right? Right?
I didn't catch that.
That means that he or she, whatever person considers a God, does not exist.
Well, that they've got to show us that God before we're going to be like,
if you ask a person, do you believe that a God exists?
The unseen God. The unseen God. Is that better?
I mean, if that's what you believe.
Unseen God.
We don't believe in any
I'm
gods.
asking.
Yeah, there's nothing that I'm aware of that I would...
You was asking what God or something he had said.
Mm-hmm, yeah, well, we ask you what you think God is, and then we talk about it, because we obviously don't have a message to put forward. We're responding and having those conversations.
To be clear, I'm not sure whether you're also watching the YouTube, but...
I consider God... Okay, I had a question for you all, but since you asked that question, I consider God the creator of all things.
Okay. Do you think that God necessarily exists in the world that you and I are in right now, that we're all in right now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you have evidence for that?
I have strong faith in. of that.
Okay.
Do you believe because of evidence as well, or is your belief based on faith alone?
It's faith, sir.
Okay, so...
Just clarifying, that wasn't an accusation.
Oh, no, I'm accusing you. I think that faith is a really terrible way to get to any knowledge. Can you give me an example of any other time that you use faith alone to determine what you're going to do in life? Or what you believe or what you know? Anything else?
Well, faith, first of all, is having evidence of the unseen.
Okay, so what is the evidence?
Okay, all right. Can I get back with you on that, because I called with a question to you all as atheists, but somehow it turned to me being questioned.
Well, because that's super cool. We want to get around to it because
I got you on that. I can educate you on that with no problem.
Yeah, sorry, Hakeem. We just wanted to be clear what you meant when you said.
We'll circle back later.
What's your question?
My question was, how do atheists think the universe came into existence?
I don't know.
All the way to...
Depends on the atheist?
Yeah, I don't know.
And educate me on that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to school for philosophy. Jamie went to school for business. Dude, I don't know.
Okay, give me your
if I were you, I'd ask a cosmologist.
Approach, and you give me your business approach.
Well, okay. So there's I haven't seen all of Cosmos, either the old one with Carl Sagan or the new one with Neil deGrasse Tyson, but I think that they address, amongst other things, cosmology or precisely that question. And so there are people who spend effectively their entire lives doing research to learn about facts about the way that the world works, about a variety of subjects. Some of them make medicine and then we live longer, and some of them try and figure out how stars form, what the hell black holes are more specifically, where dark matter is, etc. And so the people that do that research and the people that communicate it professionally, like Neil deGrasse Tyson, for example, would be better equipped to give you that answer. But to be quite honest, I don't know.
Yeah, we're both there. And we both advocate that if you don't know, say I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, we encounter a lot of people. We encounter a lot of people who will say, I don't know, therefore I'm going to pull the answer right out of my ass. And we don't want that, we don't like that, and we don't think that's a very good way of coming about it. So I actually had a debate with a gentleman about 2 weeks ago, and it was, you can't explain the beginning of the universe. You can't explain the beginning of the universe, therefore God. And I thought, what a dishonest way of proving a thing, because you never actually said anything. All you said is, you don't know, therefore I'm correct. And so I asked, well, what about, anything else? What if the universe started at the end of another universe? What if we're part of a multiverse? What if, some magical extra-dimensional being? What if next week I build a time machine, go back to the beginning, and I started the universe, and I just don't know it yet? Like, the question, the better question, actually, no. That is a good question.
It's a very good
question. The
question.
better answer is, I don't know until you have evidence for it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if that helps with what our position is.
So what's your position?
Well, really, you can also comment on what we've just told you, but I wanted to clarify that we also, unfortunately, we are not, neither of us is the Pope of atheism, which is a position that doesn't exist, unfortunately. So we can't speak for all atheists. Although, to be clear, as far as I'm aware, in the atheist community, I have the most fabulous hat, so does that make me the Pope of atheism? You decide. Sorry, Hakeem, I'm telling jokes and the live audience loves it. I'm derailing the conversation and Eric is glaring at me.
Yeah.
But, so we don't, anytime. No, we can't speak for all atheists, but that's certainly our positions.
Okay.
What do you think?
Well, I would have to take it that your answer was you didn't know.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if I'm like slow, if I'm like lagging to respond to you because I'm like looking at you on the tube, but it's like behind me.
Oh yeah.
So you understand? So when you stop, I don't know it for like a couple of seconds. So I'm sorry about that.
Oh, you're
I'm
fine.
not going to even look at the screen. I'm just going to talk to you, and that'd be better.
So, did you get the question, or you want me to ask it again?
Yes, I understand. Yes, I had to. You gave me your answer to my question. Now, to answer your question of my evidence, okay? My evidence, I first would start off at the fact that the universe exists. That's the first evidence.
What's that evidence of?
Well,
that it exists.
Okay.
That it came into existence, and there are things that are far beyond us. Like you
what?
said.
Well, to be clear,
I said
like stars, like the sun, like the moon.
Oh, like things that are far away.
When you say beyond us.
Beyond us, yeah.
Yeah. Hakeem, we have people that call in that say this is beyond you because it's magical.
Far away from us.
That's good.
Far away from us in distance.
Yeah.
Okay. And there are many, excuse me, let me change my tone to you.
Oh, you're
it's all good, man.
You're good.
It gets your blood up. It's all right. We're fine.
Yeah. Plus, there's a lot of semantics that we get caught up in because people
try and trap us in them, and it just drives us bonkers. And so we just want to be like, no, please don't go down that rabbit hole.
So if we come across a little hostile, I'll apologize in advance.
No point intended. Yes. All right. There are many things that exist in the universe that, if we look at it logically, from a whatever perspective you want to take in this, okay? From the distance of the moon, the distance of the sun, the distance of stars, star constellations, black holes, nebular cluster, all of these different gases and different actions that exist, humongous obstacles of matter, all this exists. And we know that scientifically. We trust the science in that. And we can also look up at the stars, correct? So that is clear evidence. Now, logically, when you study individual things that exist in the universe, logically, a human being cannot determine, using his logic, that these things can cooperate, and they do, stay in their own orbit, and they do, while traveling, and they do.
What do you mean we can't?
Perfect precision. Wait a minute. In perfect precision, without it being chaotic and, a whole host of things.
Who said it's not chaotic?
There's no way that can possibly sustain the way that the universe does, where all its cosmic energy and so forth and so on, without it being designed to follow its own principles.
What a leap, man. How the heck did you get there? And why would you infer that something has to be designed? Have you looked at the crazy shit that happens? You have nebula crashing into each other. You have planets getting rammed by comets. You have extinction level events. You have our universe, right? Our local galaxy, right, was not there at the beginning. It actually came at the end of others, right? A lot of the major elements, you know, especially the heavier elements, you know, on the periodic table only come from the explosion of stars. Where the hell do you get the idea that there's not chaos or that there's all of a sudden some synchronicity just because we can identify that there are rules that things go by and we only come up with those
doesn't
rules
exist on a grid.
because we're trying to explain it. But number one, I don't believe the thing you said, and number two, I don't subscribe to the idea that something has to be created or designed at all. Like, you have to show me that. Because just saying there's no way other than that, like, you've done nothing to help yourself, because everything you said up until that point is just like everything exists.
We clearly just, you know, that's great. That's great. We clearly have two definitions of what's going on in the galaxy.
Okay.
First of all, I asked you a question. You want to let me finish? First of all, I asked you a question. Did you know how it came into existence? Mm-hmm. When I gave my analogy on it, then you go and tell me how you think it came into existence. You said the stars went boom, the galaxies came in and swooned. I mean, come on now. Really, either you know or you don't know.
Hakeem, real quick. So what Eric was referring to was the creation of the Milky Way galaxy, which is not like there's...
And our local solar system,
there's
sun.
Universe.
I think billions of...
It's part of the universe.
It's part of the universe.
You're going to tell me how the Milky Way galaxy came about, but
I mean...
That's where to stop. You said galaxies. You didn't say one galaxy. You said galaxies.
Oh, I'm sorry. Then
let me.
me.
That's what you said. We were the last of them.
Then let me clarify, because I must have miscommunicated that.
We're the last galaxy.
Right? No. What? No. If I communicated that, I deeply apologize, and let me clarify.
He was talking.
I'm saying that it wasn't the first.
Yeah.
Right? Our solar system was not the first solar system, and we can tell that because the elements that we have to be created when other solar systems go kaplooey. It doesn't mean that I know how everything began. It just knows that it's just a statement that is what we know about our solar system. I thought you were asking me about the beginning of the universe, not the beginning of our solar system.
All right. So you did say that it was chaotic, correct?
It depends on what you mean by well, actually, sorry, you were asking Eric.
Yeah.
The description was like if you took some candy of Pop Rocks and put it in your mouth. That's how you just described it.
I mean, on a cosmic level,
that's exactly how you just described it to us. As chaotic.
Okay, so depending on how you define chaotic. So actually,
you said it was no design. You clearly said it was no intelligent design because that's chaotic.
No, I did.
That's how you explained it to me. How am I coming to my conclusion is what you said.
Wait,
when
what?
I'm showing you it's not chaotic because you're here and I'm here and we're talking to each other.
Mm-hmm.
We're not dead. We ain't blown up. We ain't blown up nowhere. We're here.
Okay.
Breathing, protected, the whole nine. But you're still telling me there's no intelligent design to this chaotic universe.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm telling you.
Thinking.
Yes, because do you need a rational thinking actor to create chaos, or do you need a rational thinking actor to, you're talking about intelligent design. You don't need a rational thinking creating actor for things not to make sense, right?
Or it's the way you just described it.
No, it can be the way I describe it, you describe it, or literally anybody else describes it, and everybody could be wrong, and it could be something else. The fact is the truth is out there.
That's fine.
No. Hold on. Let me finish. Hakeem, let me finish. Hakeem, let me finish.
I don't know what
Hakeem, hold on.
Let me finish. Right? It doesn't matter whether or not. It doesn't matter whether or not you have the right answer or I have the right answer, as long as we're looking for truth, right? Because if we're looking for truth, that's where we're going to go. If we're looking to validate our assumptions, then we're not doing the right thing, are we? Right?
Okay.
Shouldn't the right question be why are things this way?
Correct. You are absolutely correct.
Oh, well, thank you.
Okay.
We are getting some good callers.
At night, if you observe the stars, if you observe space at night by your own vision, Do you see anything chaotic going on? I'm just saying, like you popping pop rocks in your mouth. Just explain that to me.
To clarify, if the universe were chaotic, I would expect to walk out and look in the night sky and see stars.
See fireworks.
Right. So
that doesn't sound like chaos at
don't.
all. Like
At all.
I mean, I do on 4th of July, but I don't think that's what you meant. So to be clear, stars are exploding and forming all of the time, and when we point I almost said microscopes, telescopes at the sky, we see stars explode and form and collide into each other. So if stars exploding is what you mean by chaos and fireworks, then yes, when we look into the night sky, that's what we see.
Yeah, the chaos portion of it is what we're trying to make sense of, and the more that we learn and the more we study and explore, the more we can work on creating models of understanding of the universe out there. But it's not because everything is perfectly ordered. It's because we're trying to create order to describe what we're seeing and learn about it. It's not the other way around.
Okay. Well, the star Polaris doesn't go anywhere from you, the North Star. The constellations, Big Dipper, Little Dipper, they don't explode from you. They continuously show you the design your whole life. You would be gone, and the people after you would still be seeing these same star constellations not exploding.
Hakeem, if something is...
You'll be able to go by the zodiac.
If something's chaotic, does that mean exploding to you?
You cut me off.
Yeah, because chaos and exploding are not necessarily the same thing, dude. Like, what do
you get from an explosion?
Because every example you're giving is that the stars are not exploding all at once, all at the time, like pop rocks in your mouth, right?
That's from falling stars exploding is how they come to our atmosphere and disappear from exploding stars, sir. What are you talking about?
Wait.
You can see this visually.
Sorry.
No, you lost me completely.
The exploding stars don't just stay in the sky.
They don't.
Wait, no, hold on.
Fall.
No. Yeah, Hakeem, you completely lost me. I need to take us back because I got nothing.
To clarify,
did you follow?
I think so.
Okay.
When you say a star, when you're saying it doesn't stay in the sky, you mean we don't continue to see it, or do you mean it falls out of the sky to the Earth's surface?
You don't continue to see it. Star constellations. So you're telling me our star constellations explode on a rapid basis? That's what you're telling me?
No. Because what we haven't discussed yet is over what period of time, right? If I set off fireworks, they explode relatively quickly. Stars take billions of years.
So time can age and create.
Sorry, can you clarify that? I'm not sure I heard it clearly.
Yes, sir. I said so time can age and create.
Time is something that we observe. I don't know that time...
I hear atheists say that all the time. They say that these things develop...
Why?
Send them,
and you're talking to us.
Tell them to call the show and let me tell them
or
that they
just
don't
talk to those
sense.
atheists about it. But if you're going to talk about what other people believe, then we have no reason to be talking to you, dude. Talk to us.
I use that in reference because I've seen both of you on that atheist show called The Atheist Experience.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I said that.
And I've listened to Tracy plenty of times. I've listened to Matt, Russell. I've listened to
and they
John.
Always say that.
And they don't. Hold on.
These things happen over a period of time a long periods of time. They always say that about how things develop, that we can't observe it now, that it happens over periods of time. You understand? They always use that analogy.
Okay.
Well,
it happens over a period of time, so we can observe it.
Well, we observe those periods of time, but yes.
So.
But the clarification we had was that you said so time is doing these things.
Yeah, it almost like you were anthropomorphizing time, as in time was like a thinking person.
It takes time, but okay, then why use it? I don't understand that.
Well, no. We were just
don't know what's going on in that period that is taking so long of time. Then why don't you say what it is? Then other than long periods of time.
Okay.
And tell us exactly what's going on in that period.
Yeah, because you should take a class if you want to know more about it. Like we're not archaeologists, right? No, they're observable. Go to talkorigins.org, and you can look up that evidence. If you want to know more, go to a college, man. We're just some dudes. Do you really want us to sit down and school you and actually have hours and hours where you sit down, we'll get you a textbook, we'll write down, we'll go over how we know about these things. I'll get an expert in because I'm not that guy to be teaching you that, right? Do you want to do that?
I understand. We don't need to get on that. We was talking about the universe.
Yeah, we don't need to get on it because that's a ridiculous claim you just made.
No, that's the claim you're all making. Time. You just say time. You don't say what's in between.
To be clear,
it takes a long period of time.
Okay. The example that you brought up was Tracy and Matt talking about evolution over a period of time. So
no, I don't want to get on that. We was talking
I also don't want to talk about evolution, but
that's a whole other topic.
Yeah. So physics.
We were talking about chaotic universe and non-chaotic. We was discussing that. That's what I had called for originally.
I don't. Okay. Yes. So let's take the sort
weird
of
rabbit trail we went on, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead, Jamie. Sorry.
We took a wrong turn at Albuquerque, but
yeah.
To get specifically on the formation of stars, you just got that. To the formation of stars, it takes a long period of time, right? But the force that's drawing, hydrogen together, that's forming a star, that's forming effectively a large mass that becomes a nuclear
man
fusion.
Calculates the process, but something has to put that process in place.
No, it doesn't.
No. Hold, before we get there.
Is that what you said?
Before we get there.
Energy comes from nothing?
No, that's not what he said. That's also not what I'm saying. But before we get there, that happens over a long period of time. A football game also happens over a long period of time. So if I said, in 3 hours, we'll know who will have won this football game, you wouldn't say,
football game
time.
Is millions of years it takes to watch it.
Yeah, I know. Stick with me here, though, because what I'm.
Frame of time.
Hakeem, you need to let Jimmy talk.
Stick with me here, because the
Go ahead, I put him on hold.
Sorry, Hakeem. Hopefully you can still hear me. The question I'm responding to is when you said, why are you saying that time is doing things? And I'm trying to clarify because I think there's been a miscommunication. So I don't think that you, and I know that I certainly wouldn't say, time is going to win this football game. You would just say that over the course of time, a football game would be played. And you would say, it's being played by the, Green Bay Packers and whomever, right? And so if you said, or you said over the course of a football season, these things are going to happen. And over the course of the years have been really hard on whatever football team and they haven't been doing very well. You wouldn't say time has been hard on them. You would just say the things that have happened in that period of time.
You want me to unmute him?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
If that makes sense. Sorry, I got caught up trying to solve that miscommunication. Does that?
That made no sense. But
what
I was saying in regards to the universe is this, okay? Is that and I know that we use our time and we calculate our time. We have our months, we have our days, our weeks, our years. Mm-hmm. And we use the things in the universe to calculate these things that we use on a daily basis. Lunar time, solar time. Do you understand that? You're telling me that from something out of nowhere came to where we can make these calculations that's conducive to our daily living in life.
No, and I'll tell you exactly where you're wrong here, okay, Hakeem?
Okay,
so
go ahead.
So in logic, you have a premise, right? You have A, and so the negation of that premise is not A. It's not something else, right? So let's say, we keep using the gumball analogy. Let's use something else. Let's say you're saying that. Let's go.
Gumball analogy.
Let's use the gumball analogy.
Yeah,
okay, that's fine. So let's. Geez, I use this all the time. Hakeem, you there?
I'm here.
Okay, you and I, we're hanging out. We go into a room. We see Jamie. He's got a big jar of gumballs, and we've never seen the jar of gumballs. And he says, I want you to tell me whether or not the number of gumballs in the jar is even or odd. Okay? You and I both have never seen this before. And I look and I say, there is an even number of gumballs in that jar. For a fact. I know there's an even number of gumballs in that jar. What are you going to say?
Do you believe that there's an even number?
Yeah, do you believe me?
I mean, that's all guesswork. It has nothing to do with.
No,
with
and
the
just
cycle that we
follow me,
use
Hakeem,
of
and just
Austin
follow
all
me
these
here.
things to tell time
Hakeem, and
here
just
on
follow
Earth.
me with this,
You
please.
said gumballs. I'm confused. I don't.
I know.
Because we're trying to demonstrate. It's not all going to be in one sentence. Follow me through this.
Over with the gumballs.
Sure. We walk into a room. Jamie's got a jar of gumballs. He says, tell me if the number of gumballs in the jar is even or odd. I say, it's even. I know it for a fact. Do you believe me?
Gotcha. Would I believe if you're correct on that?
Yeah. Are you going to be like, oh,
would
yes,
that
Eric
be
is-
enough to convince you, oh, Eric definitely knows
That it's an even number.
That it's an even number.
You were with me the whole time. You know I've never seen this jar.
Yeah.
I mean, but this is guesswork calculation.
So would it be okay for
Not
you to say,
science.
Eric, I believe you?
We use science. to
Hakeem,
calculate time.
just
We use-
answer me, damn
we
it.
use observable science. I wouldn't know. That's why I'm saying it's guesswork.
Exactly.
I wouldn't know if to
Exactly.
believe or not.
Perfect.
So you say, I don't know. That is, you passed right through it. Yes, you got it. You can say, Eric,
Right.
Eric, I'm not going
I
to
have no problem
accept.
with that.
But
if I trust the
wait,
science of
Hakeem,
today,
hold on.
Then what do you want me to do?
Whoa,
Not to
dude,
trust the
hold
science?
on.
Hold on. It's just
the
a hypothetical.
Point, yeah, the point that I'm trying to make is you're not saying, Eric, I don't believe you. It's an odd number of gumballs. All you're saying is, I don't know. We need to count the gumballs, right? The Eric, I don't believe you does not mean that you are asserting another claim on your own. You saying, Eric, I don't believe you that it's an even number of gumballs. You're not saying, I know for a fact it's odd. You're saying it could be, I don't know. The correct answer is neither. The correct answer is, I don't know you, and you withhold until you have sufficient evidence to be able to put that forward.
Yeah.
Right?
You don't believe something until you have a good reason to believe it.
The reason that we're coming up with this, the reason I'm giving you this example is because you're saying if you don't believe that it was created by a thinking God, right? If you don't think it was intelligently designed, do you think it all came from nothing? Hakeem, I never told you what I think. All I'm saying is I don't believe you.
I never accused you of saying anything came from nothing.
Yeah,
I never said that to you.
go back into the video after this, watch it, and then that's fine. But, we can move forward still.
Because what you were...
I didn't say you believe that.
Yeah, you did.
Hakeem, really quick, what you were saying is, no, look, you need this...
You heard it probably as a question, but not as a definite that's your belief.
Hakeem, real quick, what you were saying, what it sounded like you were saying, and what I heard and what I think Eric heard as well, is that you were saying, no, look, the universe is ordered and it had to be ordered by a thing. And what Eric was saying is, I don't see the order there. I don't believe that that's true, and I don't know why you would say that it needs to be a thing. That's him saying, I don't believe you that the gumballs are even. I don't know how you came to that conclusion. And then one of the things I think
totally understand his position, and I'm sure you all totally understand my position. This is what I am saying, though. The science that we have up the wazoo in our lives, young gentlemen, you all are not utilize that to see whether or not it's a design to it or not. You're ignoring the science. I don't understand that.
To be clear,
this is my problem.
What science are you referring to specifically? Yeah. That what is designed? Like this, I know that this coffee mug is designed, and I know that you agree with that.
I know that garish hat was designed.
Let me get to the nitty gritty of what I'm observing here. Okay. I said that with a logical mind, is it possible for us to be able to the universe to be in cooperation? What is the odds of that to our everyday living?
We don't have a way of calculating the odds.
Of time because of lunar and solar. And how can you refute that when the science helped us to get that?
Okay,
so time exists and we measure it.
A week, 7 days in a week. 30. Yeah. You understand? It's because of the movement of. Listen, we on a big old Earth.
Yeah.
Where it's so big that man can't even grasp in his head that
how big it is.
On a moving object and it's not flat.
Yeah.
It's going so past people's minds that they believing that the Earth is flat.
Yeah. And we are right there with you.
Use logic.
Yeah. I love talking to those people. They're so silly.
That we're spinning.
Yeah.
You can't tell that, and I can't tell that. But they say that there's no phenomenon. that's I don't care how big it is, how small we are, how fast. That's nevertheless it's happening without your knowledge and being able to witness it that we are spinning.
Well,
directly.
I mean, yeah.
Like when I get up out of bed, I don't go, wow, the Earth's spinning.
Miraculous to you. I don't know what is.
Early astronomers figured it out, though, so obviously it was detectable.
Men calculate.
Right?
They tell me what put these things in motion. The Earth is a certain distance from the sun. What is the odds of that? And this is where you and I live, sir.
So
the odds of it are 1 in 1.
Yeah,
I don't.
So,
what?
Hakeem, really quick, when
the water just came out of space and landed on Earth and gave us the right amount of water too. I guess you believe that too, right?
Hakeem.
Million gallons of water.
Hakeem.
Million tons.
No, Hakeem.
Million tons of water
Hakeem.
on this planet.
Hakeem.
Ain't no water in space.
Real quick, Hakeem. So if I roll a 6-sided die, the odds.
Other planets ain't got the water.
I'm putting you on hold, dude. You got to let us talk. You got to let us talk, or else we're not going to have this conversation. All right? Putting you back up. Can you hear us?
You to talk to. But go ahead.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. There's a phone delay, so I think it may be making there.
I understand.
Yeah.
Sorry for being so long.
Oh no, you're fine. I talk over people every week, all the time, without the phone delay. So
without the excuse. Yeah.
So if I roll a dice, right, the odds that it is going to come up like a 1, right, like it's a 6-sided die, like you'd get at a casino or whatever. The odds that it's going to come up 1 are 1 in 6, right? And we know that because if we take that die and we roll it 1,000 times, 1/6 of those times, if it's perfectly random, it'll come up 1 or nearabouts, right? And that's what we mean by what are the odds of that, right? So if I take 2 die, right, and I roll them, the odds that it comes up snake eyes are, few and far between. On one roll, it's 1 in 36, right? So if I roll, or here, I'll stick with 1 dice, and now that I've switched back and forth, this is confusing. So the odds that I roll a die and it comes up 1 are 1 in 6, right? But if I roll that die twice, the odds that it comes up 1 and then 2 are 1 in 36, right? Just that's how we calculate probabilities. Are you with me so far? I'm not doing this very well, but hopefully I haven't lost you by rambling. Hakeem? Are you there?
Yes.
Oh, okay, cool. Thank you. We wouldn't know what the odds were if we couldn't roll the die more than 1 time, right? Because if I find a 6-sided die that I've never rolled before, and I roll it, and it comes up 1, I might go, oh, well, it's a perfectly random die. Or maybe the next time I pick it up and I roll it, it's 1. It comes up 1. And I pick it up and I roll it again, and it comes up 1. And it's because it's a loaded die, right? It's weighted. It's rigged to only come up 1. But I wouldn't know that unless I could roll it more than once, unless I could roll it again and again. So when you're asking, what are the odds that the Earth is this far from the sun, you're talking about 1 dice roll, right? We have 1 Earth, 1 sun, 1 galaxy, and 1 universe. So we don't have a second time to compare it to. So when you ask, what are the odds of that? The answer is, I don't know, and I don't know how anyone could know.
And then to build on that, I actually really like that. Did you ever play Yahtzee, Hakeem?
Yes.
So, do you know what the odds are of getting Yahtzee?
Let's say that again.
Of rolling Yahtzee?
Okay, I know Yahtzee. Yes.
Yeah.
Really.
So for you to roll all of those numbers together in one go, it's 1 in 1,296, right? So if we're playing Yahtzee and I actually do it, are you going to be like, you're a cheater? The odds are so high, it's never going to happen.
Well, maybe.
Well, eventually it will, right?
Yeah.
So let's take 1 in a million, right? If something's 1 in a million, that means it rarely happens. Well, that's not true, because how many people do we have on the Earth? Jamie, how many people are out there right now?
More than 700 billion.
More than 700 billion. That means that you have 7,000 1 in a million chances happening all the time for any given situation.
Well, yeah.
70,000? Am I missing a zero?
I don't
know.
Yeah.
But either way, it happens all the time. And so for you to say, oh, it's so impossible for a thing to happen, number one, big numbers is not a reason to not believe a thing. Number two, what Jamie said.
Well,
is,
we don't know what the odds are, and also we have a really, 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 really large universe and a really, 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 really large galaxy, and there are a lot. The number of galaxies is also really, really, really large.
And who knows how many times this might have already happened at different distances, or if there are life forms that are comprised of different,
or if it could,
makeups,
or if it can happen any other way. Right?
Yeah,
Like at this point, we're just listing things we don't know.
Okay, but there is one that I actually do want to give, and that is, have you ever read Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
You have?
Well, here, let's let him
Okay, so
respond
in
to what we've
Hitchhiker's
said
Guide,
so far.
In Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, he talks about a puddle, a sentient puddle. And that puddle is so happy because it was made. The hole was absolutely made for it. And the size was exactly right for the water around it. And then the sun came out, and as the puddle shrank, it went, you know what? This is absolutely perfect. Every instance that I'm in, this hole is perfectly made for me, right? Was that puddle correct? I mean, all you're doing is...
I understand.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying. I totally understand what you all are saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
I totally get that. I put things like you do, like you're doing, in every perspective known. That's where we come in at as men. Every human being born is a scientist. We explore, all the way to the food we taste and test. Understand that, okay? We observe.
Did you say this, man?
Understand it. Listen, this is what I understand your analogy.
Okay.
But this is where you have this is where you run into a problem with this at. Okay? Because I'm explaining it. The science shows in school,
Okay.
not my science. Science in school is what I've been talking about.
Okay.
Shows that all these things in the universe are put in precise mathematics, all the way to the point where he calculates. Understand what man does? He calculates. Okay?
Yep.
We've come up with the perfect mathematical equation, which is
Have we?
B/A, which equals 1.618. Okay? This number is used in various aspects. Understand this. In the universe, it is the superior number in mathematics. With this number, let me just finish. It's not going to take no more than a minute.
Oh no, I was just looking at. I thought that was the golden ratio. Okay, yeah.
Same number. There's no design. With that same number, that's the heart pulse. That's the DNA spiral. That's numerous of galaxies is based on this number. Okay? Mm-hmm. This number is even applied when the Egyptians built the pyramids. That's connected to the star constellations. Understand that. Also, it's even what our human body is. 1.618. The perfect gear ratio. That's the human body now, fellas. Also, it's the world's golden ratio point, our mean point. Okay? In the middle of the South Pole and North Pole, you got to understand, this is what is called the magnetic equilibrium zone. This is true science. Learn it in school. Told me to go to school, you'll go to school. Look, not to move, listen, if you place a compass here,
What?
it will not move because the gravitational pull is equal from both sides, fellas. You understand that?
The force of gravity is opposed equally by the normal force.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Yes, sir.
how do you get the golden ratio?
These are mathematical scientific discoveries.
Mathematical science. I'm not telling you the golden ratio doesn't
not
exist.
believe in
I'm asking
mathematics?
you if you know how it exists, like what it is, why you get that.
That's what okay.
Why is phi equal
Now,
to
everything that I
1.618?
have studied in science is conducive in what the God I believe in, the unseen God, shows us in his book.
Bullshit.
The one,
Bullshit.
You will respect the one that created
No, you are lying. No, Hakeem, I'm not going to let you get away with that. You can say a whole bunch of really crazy shit, but to tell me that your Bible is scientifically correct, you know what? You actually added a whole bunch of bogus crap onto existing things. You said that's all post hoc. What you're saying is we can define it, therefore it must have been created. That is not it.
Yeah.
That is not the case. It is we are trying to define it, and therefore once we define it, your God exists. No. I can say these things exist, but that doesn't mean that, shut up, dude. Your God does not exist because you are getting to, oh my gosh, we can finally define a thing, right? All right, look, listen.
You're on hold.
Yeah, you're on hold, okay? Listen to me really closely. Just because you get to say science exists does not mean you get to say that your 2,000-year-old book, over 2,000 if you're counting the Old Testament, written by Bronze Age goat herders, is scientifically correct. That is not a true. That is not how you get to truth. And you can't say you're reaching that by a scientific means. That is bullshit. And we'll sit here and we'll argue, we can talk about how you get to conclusions, but if you're gonna pull that out of your ass, I'm done talking to you. So I'm gonna take you off of hold, but if you do say that, I'm done.
All right, what it is?
Hakeem, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey.
Okay, so you're back.
I don't need a book to clarify what it is. I'm gonna let you have to deal with that these things is possible by like rolling a dice or throwing some bubble gums on the floor. By this mathematics.
Some bubble gums on the floor. That is exactly what we said.
You said bubble gum, balls, gum drops, whatever you said.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
All over the floor.
None of these things has a mathematic precision to them. It's guesswork.
No, the measure,
mathematic precision.
our ability to measure it is precise, right? My height.
Oh, you want to try that one?
No, how dare you?
I know you're not going to try that one.
Really?
You just gave me your mathematics of calculations of gumballs and dice and the odds of that.
Yes.
And I'm giving you precise mathematics. You're giving me guesswork mathematics.
We're not.
No.
We're giving you examples to try and help you.
Okay. I think there's been very quickly. To clarify, I think there's been a miscommunication when you were talking about, you're going to give me that one, because when you said, it's a level of precision, I'm saying, right, a thing happens, and we measure how it happens using numbers very precisely, using numbers with a lot of decimal points going past it. That's our ability to measure a thing that happens.
But if we don't use number precisely, we won't be able to count our money, would we?
All right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, Hazim, exactly. But the amount of money I have on a table, if I miscount it, does that change the number of dollars I have on a table?
No, it just means that you're wrong about your money.
Okay.
Exactly. And as we get better at measuring this hypothetical money on a table, we discover that we can measure not just dollars, but quarters. We discover we can measure not just quarters, but dimes. We discover we can measure not just dimes, but pennies. And then someone would say, where the money is on a table, because we can measure pennies, it must have been placed exactly there. But if someone is holding a giant tip jar and they pour it out on the table and you just get better and better at measuring how much it's there, it doesn't mean the place on the table where it fell was designed to be there.
What school taught you mathematics?
Obviously not yours. Hakeem, we actually are going to keep you on, but we have somebody else who wants to talk to you. Katie in Lincoln, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Katie, help us, please.
Okay, so as far as whether or not you...
Oh.
That was my phone beeped in. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Son of a bitch.
No.
You dropped her.
No, Hakeem, not you. Sorry. The call with Katie dropped. You're fine. That's Eric swearing at the phone system, not you. Just to be clear.
Sorry. This is me.
Our call got heated, but you seem like a fine
We
gentleman.
actually gave you our entire episode, so we're going to go on.
I didn't mean to take up y'all time.
No, this was really fun. I want to continue this.
I don't know why you were complaining. I like it. We don't have to. We got a little bit of hate. All right. I don't know what those noises just were, but Eric is making a sad face. Hakeem, I know that this call has been long. I've certainly enjoyed it. Are you interested in? I don't want to end it just yet, but before we go on, are you able to call back again next week?
Yes. Next Sunday, right?
Yeah, next Sunday. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
No problem.
All right, cool.
No problem at all.
All right, and
Take
then
care.
we also have Katie back on line 5.
So we're actually, I'm going to keep you on, Hakeem, but we do want to listen to what Katie has to say, okay?
Make sure you lock him
right.
in.
I got you.
He's not. Yeah.
Katie, are you there?
Nice talking to you guys.
Yay!
All right.
Hopefully I'm here to stay this time.
Hopefully. Okay, we only have a couple minutes.
Hi,
Help us
Katie.
out
Meet
here.
Hakeem, Katie. You're both voices.
Hello.
How you doing? Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. So we have seen stars exploding in the past. In the Song Dynasty, Chinese astronomers noticed that there was a new star in the sky, and it was extremely bright, like bright enough that you could see it while the sun was out, like during sunrise and sunset. Later on, when we had far more advanced telescopes, we were able to observe the Crab Nebula. Scientists in the 1800s were able to then say, it's like, oh yeah, no, the Crab Nebula, that was created by this supernova that humans observed in 1049. I mean, we've seen stars exploding in the past. It happens. Just because we don't happen to look outside and see a star exploding at any given time doesn't mean that they're not exploding farther away than we're able to observe. Like Betelgeuse is something like 640 light years away, and we know that Betelgeuse is nearing the end of its life. It could have already gone supernova, and we just won't see it until next week because of the distances involved. So we can see stars exploding all the time. We just have to know where to look and, get lucky because an explosion happens and then it's done.
Right.
Does that make sense, Hakeem?
Yeah. Yes, but the reason why we're seeing so many things that when we first got into the discussion as seeming like chaotic, these things exist in space. All of these actions take place. You got to also understand that science explains to us, modern science, that the universe is expanding.
Yeah.
So it's active. Everything in the universe is in motion. Nothing stationary. It's in motion, including that sun.
So
if you have these gases and all of this nebula and smokeless clouds and all of this different types of things, gravity and magnetic forces and dark energy and energy, if you have all of these things going on in the universe, you got to understand that you're going to get these type of reactions. But nevertheless,
fucking madness, man. How do they work?
It's not harmful to us. It's not harmful to us. That's the key.
To be clear,
That's the key, fellas.
To be clear, if we were affected by a supernova, so for example, if the sun at the center of our solar system exploded, that would be very harmful for human life on Earth.
I understand, but that's if, and boom, but bam.
No, it's when. I mean, as far as I'm aware.
We know that the sun is eventually going to die, and it's going to expand into a red giant, and
You
it's
won't
going
be
to
here.
eventually
I won't be
consume
here.
Earth.
Hakeem.
Jamie,
No, it won't.
Go ahead, Katie. I put Hakeem on hold.
We won't be here, but neither will the Earth because it's going to be consumed by the sun.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, talking about, it's like, oh, yeah, I mean, the fire in my lighter isn't going to be harmful to something unless, I touch the fire to the thing that now is on fire. I mean, the sun isn't harmful to the Earth as long as, it stays at its size and its mass, and the Earth stays at its position and its mass, and all of the orbital mechanics stay in position. I don't know nearly as much as, like, EJ does about this, but I at least have a grasp on some of the basics here.
and for something to be, like you said, just with a solar flare that can destroy us, can say what you said, stay put, son, for a duration. It's just deciding whenever it wants to destroy us, whenever that may be, we don't know. That's the boogeyman. We don't know.
Well, we actually have a good idea.
I'm going to the beach and I'm going to enjoy that sun.
Just to be, good. But Hakeem, here's the thing. By observing the way that things happen with stars, by observing, oh, these things are happening, a star is going to form. Oh, these things are happening, a star is going to die. We can say with a level of certainty that the odds that our particular star at the center of our solar system explodes in the next 5 minutes are very low because we've looked at a lot of stars in the galaxy and in the universe. So that's one that we
very jealous of all.
No, we don't have time for this. I'm sorry.
Okay, sorry. Eric is keeping us on time.
Yeah.
Sorry to cut you off, Hakeem. Thank you for calling in, Katie. Hakeem, we mentioned before we're at the end of our show. We wish we could continue the call now, but are you willing to continue talking about this next week?
Yes, or we can get into the evolution thing that y'all mentioned.
You're going to need to show
wanna-
that you can actually understand what
Here, so Hakeem, actually, our show ends at 2:30, and it's 2:30, but we would love to get into that with you. Can you do that next week, Sunday, 1 p.m. Central?
Gotcha.
All right. Take care, buddy.
All right. Thank you, Hakeem. This has been a really great call.
Thank
Argument from personal incredulity. Argument from personal incredulity. Can we say it all together? Argument from personal incredulity.
Wacky,
Oh, look it up. It's
waving,
freaking
inflatable,
amazing.
arm flailing,
And magnets,
tube
bro. Magnets.
magnets.
How do they work? Fucking miracles, man. Obviously. Tide
Like,
goes in, tide
dude,
goes out. That's exactly it. I can't explain
goes
it,
in,
therefore
tide
God.
goes out. Never a miscommunication.
Ever. Because they're all
yeah.
They all talk to each other somehow.